Hey friends, it's Mai. I wanted to share a quick story with you about how I found my father's roots. One hazy afternoon in June, I hopped on a plane out of New York City for the sole purpose of meeting my long-lost family. This is a journey that's been a few years in the making, but in the last 8 weeks, things have truly taken off like I could have never expected. You see, my father Charles was born in Marshall, Texas in the 1940s, but left for Los Angeles with my grandmother by 1946. So he never knew anything about his father, except that they shared the same name, Charles Perkins. He also didn't know about his father's family back in Texas, and those missing details, not knowing his father or his people, left a lot of questions for my dad, who was an only child. So about 14 years ago, I convinced my dad to take a couple of genetic DNA tests because he seemed interested in learning more about his paternal ancestry. Here's my grandfather. He was pretty handsome. And there's my dad, Charles Henry Perkins. Here I am in East Texas, standing at the grave of my grandfather for the first time. I'm here because earlier this year, I actually tracked down 2 DNA matches to my father's long-lost relatives. And wouldn't you know it, a few weeks later, I'd made contact with both of them. After a long talk with one of my new cousins, the floodgates opened when I realized the half-siblings of my dad's father, who they called Charlie Prince, were still living in Texas. While in Marshall, my Perkins family took me to the cemetery where my grandfather is buried. My great-grandmother, Amy Rockmore, is buried there too, but I couldn't find her. I did find her parents, Ben and Liza Rockmore, my second great-grandparents, both born mid-century in the 1800s. But back to how I got here to Marshall. A few weeks ago, I spoke by phone to the sisters and brother of Charlie Prince, and they were all so loving and welcoming towards me that I decided to immediately book a trip to Marshall, Texas to meet the 5 aunts and uncles that I never knew existed. These clips are from that whirlwind of a trip, and it was quite overwhelming to experience this type of blessing. All in all, I met about 15 new relatives when I thought I was coming only to meet 5. Plus my aunt showed me a portrait of my second great-grandfather, Elijah Perkins. All of this has been so special because in losing my dad a couple of years ago, it was really important for me to continue seeking out his family and by extension, my own family history. So many Perkins relatives I never knew I had. Aunts, uncles, and cousins all showed up to welcome me to the family. And unexpectedly, a cousin on another branch of my family tree made the drive from Dallas to come and meet me. Then there's my good friend Joyce and the rich Southern hospitality of her family. We ate together, laughed together, and prayed together the whole weekend. I love my family so much and deeply cherish these moments. There's so much more I want to share about this story, but for now, I'll just say, for all of this to happen after my dad passed away has been bittersweet. He would have loved every step of this journey and taken it with me had he been here. I feel like he's smiling down on all of this and is very proud of me for what I've been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time. My heart is full, and I'm glad that I could share this journey with you. Happy Father's Day, Daddy.